This is Kev Millar,
Brian Scalabrine,
Johnny Damon,
and you're listening to Boston's Big Three podcast presented by Ride the Wave Media.
All right, episode 50 of Boston's Big Three presented by Ride the Wave Media. Number 50, the big one. Now, we don't have Stafford and Brandon on the show today. We got a throwback episode. It's myself, Spike King, and GRD.
Yeah, the podcast was named after us. It wasn't named after fucking Cheech and Chong over there. The Big Three is here. What's good?
Let's explain why you left the podcast then.
I mean, you guys always talking shit, complaining about my Wi-Fi. You guys complaining about the way I live my life too, telling me the clothes I have to wear to the podcast. I'm not listening to nobody anymore. I wear what I want to wear. I don't care. Babs was making fun of the way I was dressing on the pod. He was making fun of the way I talked. No. Whatever. I'm out here.
I mean, I didn't know we were hosting an episode of Freezing Cold Takes. Every time you come on here, you give the worst takes out there. So you kind of wasted a lot of our time. So we moved on. And I think Boston's Big Three did pretty well without you.
First things first, let's put your company on blast. Your fucking company is built on cold fucking takes. Your whole company is freezing cold. That's why the only wave you're riding is in Antarctica, my guy.
Company was built on this tattoo right here.
I like to say I don't give that too many cold takes. I'm the only one who sticks by it minus Katie.
Okay.
I feel as if people panic.
Okay, Tyler, I want to say this. You're a little bit more logical, but you also have fucking no confidence in what you're saying. That's probably why you don't come up with anything logical.
And you also have a big head.
Who?
Tyler Miller.
His head ain't that big.
Yeah, I got called Big Head Tyler Miller. I think it's my hair. Like, my hair just grows up. And now that there's no barbershops open anywhere, like, I'm just going to be stuck with it for a minute.
Yo, I got a haircut today.
All right, but I was looking back. It's episode 50. So when we first started this thing in June, and now what is it, April or something like that? So from June to April, Ride the Wave, Corey, Babs, I was going to say Brian, same person. I mean, we all took bigger steps in our, I guess, quote unquote career, like on the social media side of things. For this show, like I was literally watching episode 1 the other night and making like a video for a 50 episode video. We stunk at this show like forever ago. I'm not saying we're good now. We're probably still the same, but at least last time we were just not great.
Yo, you should go listen to episode 49 because you guys still sound like episode 1. Your Wi-Fi still is fucking trash. Whoever edits your shit should lose their job like before the COVID fucking takes over. I don't know, man.
I think that you just didn't want to be in the long run because it's a consistency and grind. You got to do this every single week. And that's the only way you're going to end up getting better at this. And you know what? It did take 40 episodes and we landed our first special guest, which was Ty Law. And I think that's something that you can't, shy away from now.
Okay, but you could say shy away from it, whether you had a podcast or not. You could have had Ty Law regardless, whether you had 40 episodes or more.
Okay, so I think having other guests like Alex Brandy or having like Gino Grisham Alex Brandy, who was the captain of the Patriots cheerleaders. Gino Grisham was the captain of the 51 cheerleaders. She was. Not anymore. She was.
Nobody current is going to talk to you because you guys are a bunch of clowns.
You know who's someone that's current going to talk to us? Current tight end from Penn State, Pat. Why are you making that face?
Because it's somebody that might be somebody. You guys
he's going to be a somebody.
Listen to me, Blockhead.
He is a somebody.
You cannot get somebody when they are somebody. That's what I'm talking about. I don't want to hear about has-beens, blah, blah. Ty Law, Hall of Fame career, great guy. But, bro, past his prime, just like you. You faded out after
today's guest is the future. Today's guest is the future. He is a somebody already. He's Penn State tight end, Pat Freiermuth, Merrimack, Mass native, one of the best tight ends in the nation. That interview is coming up soon. But if we're going to talk about people in the past, this kid's the future. This kid's nicknamed Gravy Gone for a reason. He's going to be legit first tight end off the board, late first rounder, early second rounder projection before the season even started. Good 15, 20-minute interview with him. We talked about like Penn State football coming up, his time at Penn State, growing up in Massachusetts. But yeah, I mean, the guest names have been getting a little bit bigger here and there. It's a grind. We're not here to get all the followers in the world, get all the listeners in the world, although it would be nice. But hey, Boston's Big Three. And over the course of 50 episodes, we have a Mount Rushmore of guests that could go toe to toe with all these other startups.
You got to put me in the top 4 at least, though. I'm next to Ty Law and the cheerleader and the other guy that couldn't even crack the practice squad in the Patriots. What's good?
Okay.
Listen to me. All I'm here to say is this. If I was on the podcast, we would probably have David Ortiz already. We probably would have got Ted Williams' frozen-ass body out of the freezer. I would have brought real guests on that are actually meaningful people.
All time.
Now, what like we have to factor in here as well is that you were on the podcast and none of these guests were brought up.
I was, but then I took my talents elsewhere. My podcast has been blowing up.
What's that podcast? Can you give a cheap plug to it?
I'm actually not going to do that because my team actually told me not to even bring that word into this fucking podcast.
Let's take a look back at some of the episodes. Some of the things that we had. Doghouse Dan Shea, when he came on, you remember he screwed Ride the Wave over, locked our account out when me and GRD went out to Vegas. And I think that was one of our biggest content weeks out there. And that was god awful that we had to have him come on. Dan Shea still causes commotions for the 2-minute drill. I hear about it. He's done some good things. He got an interview with Hunter Bryant, tight end from Washington. That's cool and everything, but a little iffy. How about we had Matt Gordon once on the podcast give a chime in for about 15 minutes when he had the fake Brock Lesnar's kid interview as well too.
Yep, that's another one of your fucking garbage ass shit that Ride the Wave was a part of.
Hey, you know what? Ride the Wave is still there, and Ride the Wave's still growing. I mean, you can shit on it all you want. I mean, we're not going anywhere anytime soon. And I think that what Tyler Miller just said, anybody that's doing this as a startup, I like doing this. This is fun. It's awesome. We shoot this shit. We get to talk about sports. But we pull in some guests here and there. We get to have some funny content and taking this, and it's fun to do it. We're in a lot better spot than a lot of other people out there. 100%. There are people out here. We're celebrating 50 episodes. There are motherfuckers out here with 200 episodes that absolutely stink out loud, as Tyler Miller would say. You know, there's people out here that are starting episode 1, 2, 3, and then they give up on it. I think that we're at episode 50, and I cannot wait because these last 10 episodes, now we're starting to get a couple of guests. Maybe they don't tickle your fancy there, GRD, but we're starting to get knowing for that. We can start getting more comfortable, and we'll see what the next 50 episodes.
Plus, we got a guest list of names that we could drop when we're requesting interviews. I mean, that's just how I was starting to get it. I'm like, oh, we've had NFL Hall of Famer Ty Law, Super Bowl 51 champion Geno Grissom, like former Patriots cheerleading captain. If you just introduce these people the right way, that's how you get more people on.
And we've also had GRD on as well too. So when they hear
I was
that,
just going to tell you guys, at least use that as a selling point. Instagram's own Green Front Beat on the Mount Rushmore of this fucking stupid podcast.
GRD, I know putting things aside here, I know you like to have fun. You want to poke the bear a lot. Have you listened to any episodes since your departure for a bit and just literally giving your honest take about something that has stuck out with you that there's a bright spot? At least give us a little.
So the best thing that you possibly could have done was put it on the Apple app now. I could just listen to it because I don't have to see your ugly ass faces.
Yeah, I know. Especially
fair is fair.
So since then, the reviews have definitely gone up. I don't have to look at you fucking jamokes, and I'm impressed. However,
you gotta give some shout outs. But here's the thing. So you go on from it was us three, and this is Boston's big three. It is us three, 100%. This is where it starts. This is where it starts from. But it also has to do with time constraints, setting things up, Wi-Fi, and all that. And you got to give some love to someone like Brendan Watabi, who stepped away from Ride the Wave at the time when we first set this up. He wasn't really part of us at the time. He comes back. He was the one that put us on Apple. He's the one that put us back on the map there. And then someone
remember we were trying to get Tyler Miller to do it for like 3 months.
Yeah. Google ruined everything.
Yeah. Oh, Google ruined everything.
You went live.
And then all of a sudden, all of a sudden, I know I went live one time and I carried a show on my back for an hour straight.
Yep.
And I know I can do that still.
Give a shout out to Stafford too, real quick, and then wrap it up because people don't want to hear this. We got topics to talk about. This is the rambling blah 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 that I was talking about. Nobody cares that this guy left your shitty-ass company, came back to the same shitty-ass company, and tried to make it a little bit better. And he did make it a little bit better. The podcasts are obviously a little bit better. When I was here, my internet was bad. My head was all out of the place. These kids came together. Much respect to Watabe and to Stafford. God bless. Next topic.
All right, topic of the interview. Pat Freiermuth, Penn State tight end, baby Gronk, big number 87. Hopped on Boston's Big Three, talked about football. Growing up in Massachusetts, his time at Penn State, what his plans are, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, and how that could possibly affect college football. Solid 15, 20-minute interview. We thank them and Penn State Athletics for letting us have a quick conversation with them. Like I said, this kid is the future. He's legitimately like a beast tight end. And Corey, right before we hop in, one more thing.
Yo, this is the thing. You guys, I'm going to go listen to the interview when it drops, blah, blah. I'm going to look at it. But I guarantee it's going to bore the shit out of me. If you brought me into it, I would have brought legitimate, interesting things. I would have said, dude, if you're picked in the first round next year, I'll let you come truck stick me at Andover High next year off the line. I'll jam the kid, and then I'll be a first-round pick in this bitch.
I'm sure if we
really.
had you on the interview, they would say we're all set.
Shit.
We're canceling this.
Also, this is the first interview. This is the first interview we had moderated.
We got
Bro,
one.
I'll be honest. I'm really excited. This kid, like you guys have been selling him to me last year. He had a great year. And dude, the fans in Penn State, I've looked at the message boards. They're excited about this kid. So the sky is the limit for this year if we even have football.
Just a very well-spoken kid all around. And obviously, we were monitored the entire time while doing this interview. We had a set list of questions. We got to go off the rails a little bit, but we had to keep it in check. But it's very informative. I know Tyler Miller was very excited because of his Penn State connection there as well, too.
Hell
and
yeah.
A little Patriots news, too. We got
Shout
to
out
ask
Penn State
about,
Barstool.
we got to ask him about, his thoughts on Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. So that's very interesting to hear. He's a potential first-round pick if this season ends up playing. He has a good season. He could get picked at the end of the first round. Just saying that now.
Yo, instead of watching the interview, the live interview was probably something like this. Tyler Miller asking questions. Yo, Penn State.
Hey, remember that time you scored the touchdown? That was awesome.
We're a basketball school, too.
Hey,
we fumbled the basketball school bag big time. Big time.
All right,
Yeah,
everybody. Right now, interview Pat Freiermuth. Here we go. All right, what's up, everybody? It is now time. The interview that you've been waiting for. Boston's Big Three podcast presented by Ride the Wave Media. You know, we're excited today because we have somebody on here is from the Boston area. Shout out Merrimack, Massachusetts. And you know what? He's done something great for Massachusetts. He's taken his talent, his homegrown talent here on Mass, and sent it out to Pennsylvania to go play in the Big Ten. And now that he's been building it up, because what he's doing out there, scoring touchdowns and slamming bodies down, he's been building up a little urban legend out there of baby Gronk because he wears number 87. What we have, guys, on today's show is 6'5", 256 pounds of pure steel, Penn State tight end, Pat Freiermuth. Pat, tell him what's up.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on, and hopefully the fans get some taste of what I'm about today.
All right, like Bab just mentioned, we can hop right into this. I know don't want to take too much of your time up, but first things first is like, how did you get your start playing football in Massachusetts? From someone, we're both from Mass, and Bab's obviously from Mass. It's more of like a basketball state, I feel, because the Springfield Hall of Fame and everything, as compared to down south, everything's football heavy. Basically, kind of when did you get your start playing football? When did you realize, like, hey, I can be a D1 athlete, an NFL prospect? Just kind of like walk us through that a little.
So growing up, I played both sports, football and basketball. And actually, I was started playing football in fourth grade, as long as basketball, like competitively. And then, like, I was really good at basketball. Started playing that in high school a lot. We're doing extra work for basketball, playing AU for basketball. And then I had the opportunity to repeat my sophomore year at a private school, Brooks School in North Andover, Mass. Or my cousin Pat Foley is the head coach there. So I went there, and my second sophomore year at my private school, I had a really good football season. And my cousin was like, listen, like, if you make a highlight film, you can get some looks off this, blah, blah, blah. And then basketball season rolls around, and I'm the sixth man our starting five went all D1. I was the sixth man, won a NEPSAC Class B title, and I was the leading scorer on the team. So I was like, oh, maybe basketball's my thing. And then UMass offered, and then a bunch of other schools started offering. And then I was like, started putting on a little weight. So basketball was kind of out of the question. And then started playing football seriously, and I love the decision I made.
That kind of transitions to the next point is like, how did Penn State first reach out to you? Personally,
Yes.
I had no intentions of going to Penn State. Like, I had no idea. I just was in Pennsylvania one day, poured it, liked it, applied, and I got here. I'm not sure if they reached out to you, kind of like if you were trying to stay more local in Mass. Like, personally, Pennsylvania, I think it stinks out loud. I'd rather be in Massachusetts, but I love being at Penn State. So
So Coach Ronnie, the new coach at Old Dominion, the new head coach there, he came to my school and just kind of like was talking to me, getting a feel out for me. Kind of was like, hey, come to a camp, because I didn't really go to camps prior to that. You come to a camp, we'll see how you do, blah, blah, blah. So I go to the camp, and I balled out, and he pulled me in his office with Coach Franklin and Coach Moorhead, and they offered me a scholarship. And kind of I visited Syracuse. I was deciding between Syracuse and Penn State. I wanted to get the decision over early just so I could focus on what I was doing then now. And then, just went to Penn State again for the second time and just fell in love with it even more. In my opinion, it's the biggest like football school in this kind of area of the country. You know what I'm saying? So I just fell in love with it, and I'm very happy with the decision I made.
Did you ever get like recruited with like Ife Melifano from Grafton? He's a cornerback up there in Syracuse now.
Yeah, I did not. I didn't really hear of him, but I actually worked out when Obi is still with the Patriots. But when Obi first got signed back with the Patriots, I worked out with Obi for a little bit. So he kind of introduced me to his brother. That's kind of how I met him.
Yeah, so I played football against that kid growing up. Before
Oh, really?
I hung up the cleats because I broke my jaw on track. But Babs, up to you.
So obviously, we live in this great area of Massachusetts. You've seen the dynasties over the last 20 years, and you've seen a lot of players come in and out of New England, except the one, Tom Brady, who's finally out of here. But that's a whole different other story. But a lot of these guys that you've watched growing up, is there somebody that you've molded yourself in terms of Patriots related, or anybody in NFL that you want to replicate the game? Now, we said earlier, baby Gronk, and that's always been thrown out there, and that's cool. And you are saying it's cool to be like, having that Rob Gronkowski comparison, but you want to be the first Pat Freiermuth. Like you're trying to set your own tone out there. But is there somebody out there in the NFL, whether it's Patriots related or anywhere in the NFL, that you kind of want to mold your game?
Yeah, I think I'm a unique tight end in a way where I think I can do it all. I think my coach would say the same thing. I try and take different parts of different players' games. So Kelsey, I like to look at his swagger, his route running, like the way he wins on man routes, and the way he gets open in zone routes. I like to take that from him. I watch George Kittle a lot. His just tenacity, just catching the ball and running with it, and just his whole energy blocking. I mean, there's a clip of him in the NFC Championship with putting someone in the end zone smiling while doing it. I mean, that's hard to find, and I just want to have that mentality. And then just overall, I mean, Mark Andrews and definitely all three of the Ravens tight ends last year, they just did everything really well, and I watched a lot of film on them. So I'll just kind of take different parts of each NFL tight ends who are really good, try to implement in my game.
Throw a little throwback here. How about Tony Gonzalez? You ever watch some of
Tony Gonzalez?
Yeah.
I did not. No, I have not watched any of his film, but I mean, I just like to bounce around a little bit. So we'll see.
We're in that new generation,
Exactly.
So going from the NFL now to Penn State, who are some of the biggest mentors that you have over there at Penn State that you will either mold your game with or you listen to every single day that give you a ton of advice going forward?
Yeah, so obviously in the recruiting process, Mike Gesicki, just the way he handled himself, obviously having a rough start 2 years, and then the way he refocused his mind and got after it his junior and senior year, just his ability to beat man coverage and beat the guy across from him. That's definitely something that I looked up to, and definitely that I watched film of him coming in. And just kind of like Jesse James as well. And then when I got there at school, Nick Bowers, currently training for the NFL, he was just a huge mentor to me. I mean, he always helped me out when I was he always made me remain humble through the highs and the lows. He's huge to me, and same with my coach Tyler Bowen. He's been there through it all, and he's like my second father. Like, he's the best, and I'm just appreciative of everything he's done for me.
Awesome. You know, right now times are really tough in society with the whole pandemic going on with COVID-19, and there's a lot of unknown out there. Myself, I work at Mass General Hospital. I work for the police department there, and it's just crazy to see how our society is shut down. And that's one side of it, working there. Now, you as an athlete who is trying to prep himself for, you know, to further your career, especially when you have your eyes on the prize for next year, 2020 in the fall, that you want to get Penn State into the national title game and as well as the 2021 draft. What are you doing right now during the COVID pandemic to stay in shape, to stay active, to keep your mind right? And how about your other teammates as well, too?
Yeah. So obviously, first, thank you to everyone who's been on the front lines helping this pandemic out. Definitely caps off to them, and I really appreciate all of their hard work and try and keep this country running. Obviously, football and everything takes a back burner to everything that's going on in society right now. But training-wise, I'm just trying to do everything I can. That's loading up a backpack and doing squats with that, or running extra hills, or I'm just finding different ways to try and keep my body active and keep making those gains to have a good season coming up. And obviously, I can't look too far ahead. I'm just focused on making it to the national championship and getting onto the field in the fall. I can't wait for that to happen.
Where just because you're from Merrimack, and that's
yeah.
like the Minga Valley up there.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite places out there to go to? I mean, say I'm giving you an open field. You can go to any field that you want to in the Merrimack Valley area, any gym that you want to go to, anything that you want to do. Like, where's your favorite places to go to?
So my favorite place to lift and train is at Body by Boyle in Middleton. Great facility, great trainers. My boy Vinny, he's a great trainer. He always gets me right. And then obviously just kind of running. I love running at Newport High School. They have a great turf field, and they have a great stadium. Just run stadium stairs on. And obviously my mom is from Newport. My whole family is. So just kind of bringing it back to the roots.
So you mentioned over social media through your Twitter and a press release this past off season that you were staying for a third year at Penn State. You see guys like KJ Hamler opt out and go to the draft, and other people on that offense that you guys are losing this year, whether it be the transfer portal or entering the draft. How do you kind of prepare yourself just for the next season, especially coming into the season as one of the premier tight ends, that you lost a lot of offensive weapons, or you lost a handful of guys that made a key impact to the team, and you're going to have a bigger spotlight on you this season? Is there a different type of mental approach you take, or workout plan you take, or you just do the same old thing because it's obviously working?
Yeah, I've always been a guy where I do my process and I don't change if I'm getting more hype or I'm not playing well. I just stick to what I know, and that's kind of training my mind every single day to envision things and envision plays I'm going to make on the field and different things like that. I definitely kind of stay to my process, and I definitely have a routine where I go through. I wake up and I stretch, and I go work out, and then I'll have some lunch, do schoolwork, and then I'll go work out again. I have a kind of process that I follow. I don't really let the media kind of hype me up, or I never really pay attention to it because obviously it's great getting the publicity and stuff like that, but you can't get too high because once you start getting that kind of swagger to you, then you're not going to be able to kind of focus on you and what you can do to improve. And I mean, if I can't do that, if I can't provide on the field, perform how I want to perform, none of this is gonna. It's not meant to be. It's gonna go away like that. So I gotta continue to play how I'm playing and stick to my process.
So you've had a lot of success in 2 years at Penn State so far. Kind of more of a lighthearted question, just a simple: what was your best memory in Penn State? And then kind of when did you realize this is kind of your coming out game? This is Pat Freiermuth here to stay game.
Yeah. So probably my best memory so far is definitely winning the Cotton Bowl. That was definitely, as a team, that was definitely a huge accomplishment. Definitely blessed to be a part of that. But my myself coming out party probably was, I knew this was going to be me. It was my freshman year at the Whiteout against Ohio State.
All right, that was what I was going to say too.
Yeah, I mean, going into that game, I remember. So coach told me I was going to start Monday prior to that week, and I immediately left his office and threw up. I was so nervous. But I kind of got to the stadium and that game and just kind of the fans. And I was like, there's no need to be nervous. Just have fun with it. And I did my thing. And definitely that's kind of when I knew, this is my time.
Speaking of like the whiteout game, can you just explain to people like what that is? I try to say what it's like especially on football season when we're doing our show around then. I'm like, now we had the whiteout game this week, like Penn State. And people are just like, they don't know what they're talking about. And then they get there, you see the clip going around that goes viral like every week of Michigan calling a timeout before the game even started. Like just stuff like that you don't find anywhere else. I tell people that Penn State have like the best fans in the country, whether quote unquote best or just the absolute like the craziest people on the planet, because they're with you when you're high and then they'll kick you down when you're low for no reason at all. But just kind of describe the Penn State like fan experience, the whiteout game especially, and kind of just like the love and praise that you guys receive from these people who eat, breathe, and sleep Penn State football.
The whiteout, to be honest, there's nothing to describe it. There's no word to describe it. It's literally like the best environment of all of college football. Like, sure, other teams have other games and all that, but like the whiteout is like the game you want to play and the game you want to be a part of. It's you walk in, you come out, and it's the fans are fill the stadium up with 45 minutes in pregame. Like that doesn't happen.
If you're not there 2.5 hours, like my freshman year, I showed up 2.5 hours before the game. There's a huge line. So I'm like,
we walk in the stadium, they open the gates, and we come out just to like do our initial stretch, and it's already halfway full. Like it's crazy. And the Penn State fans and the alumni and everything that has to do with Penn State is awesome. They are the best fans in the country. Even when we were low and it's hard for them to when we lose a game, it's kind of hard for them to fathom that, but you know, they're always there by our side and they're always the best fans.
What people don't understand is that they expect a national championship every single year. Like they don't look at a Cotton Bowl championship as a successful season. And if there's one game, the whole world's on fire. Like everyone's saying, fire James Franklin, fire Moore, fire all these other guys that were here in the past. Speaking of James Franklin real quick, I've always said this to people when they say, like, as a fan, do you like this coach coaching your team or something like that? Mm-hmm. I'm a huge James Franklin guy because I think he adds something that is rare in college football, that he's like a player's coach. Mm-hmm. He doesn't really go over the X's and O's from what we see in the media, social media, just like all these YouTube videos. He's more, from my point of view, someone who will be there for the players and then coach them, as opposed to being, let me be your football coach. I'm just going to be like a mentor to you, and as well as like, hey, you're good at this game. Let me help you out with it.
Yeah, so Coach Franklin, obviously there's a persona, like a view of him in the media, but Coach Franklin is the best at everything. He's a really smart football coach. I mean, I'm sitting in meetings with him in the offense, and he's really smart. I mean, he was the OC at Maryland before this. Really smart guy when it comes to football. And what's really good about him is he genuinely cares about you. Like you commit to Penn State, you commit to him. Commit to the family. He brings you in when you first get there. He brings you to his house for dinner. All the freshmen. He continues that throughout the year. He always texts you and checks up on you. I mean, he's a coach that really cares about you. And obviously, wins matter. Like that. He's here to win games. That's his job. But he makes sure that you're in the best mental capacity you can be to go out and win a game. He really cares about you. He really cares about us as players, and he really molds us to be great fathers and great businessmen and great players in the NFL, like when we move on from Penn State.
Kind of wrapping up with Penn State itself, too. You close your eyes and you think back in the last couple of years of playing there. What are some of those big plays that stick out in your mind that you've done or the team has done in total, whether it's the games or a certain play that always sticks out in your mind?
So obviously Journey's run against the Cotton Bowl, that will always stick out in my mind. I mean, Micah Parsons makes plays every single game. So, I mean, there's not really a play that sticks out. It's just a play that he makes all the time. Although he needs to get on the jugs machine to work on his interceptions. That's something he does need to do.
Do you ever see him returning kicks? That's always a thing.
Yeah. If he works on his hands, he can do whatever he wants. Yeah. But yeah, just probably for me, just to play in the Citrus Bowl, kind of over Josh Allen for a touchdown, and definitely the play in the Cotton Bowl. There's a bunch of different plays, but I'm enjoying my time at Penn State as a whole. I'm proud of all my guys on the team for doing what they're doing. I can't wait to see them soon.
Now, obviously, you're staying focused. You're going ahead. You're marching to 2020, and hopefully everything goes back to normal society. We head into 2021. You'll make a decision then. And no matter what, I'm sure that you'll be grateful to go to any team out of the 32 teams in the NFL, even if there's a 33rd team and they're in London. But how would it feel to be drafted by the New England Patriots and come play at home, the team that you've grown up with over these last 20 some odd years of the dynasty, to play at Gillette Stadium in front of your friends and family down the line?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Obviously, like you said, I'd be blessed to get the opportunity to play for any organization. But I mean, obviously, the chance to come home and play for the New England Patriots and just being part of that great organization. I mean, dynasty after dynasty after championship after championship, it'd be awesome. Having my friends and family there, coming to every home game, it'd just be a blessing. Like put it on for Massachusetts and being that hometown kid that like made it to the NFL from this area.
And
Are there any other players that are like Pats fans on Penn State? Because I'm one of few, like Patriots fans, Boston sports fans. I'm sure you're the same. And we're surrounded by Eagles fans, like Steelers fans, all around the country, and everybody just hates New England sports. Is there anything, like in the locker room that you just have to deal with it and just like put your head down? Like you can say 6 rings all you want, but they're just not going to listen to anything.
Yeah, so Will Levis, he's from Connecticut. He's originally from Massachusetts. He's a big Patriots fan. And I'm pretty sure Shaka, he's from Philly, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's a Patriots fan, but I know he's a big Tom Brady fan. So I know he's rooting for the Patriots, but I don't really know like what team he's really for. You know what I'm saying? But there's a couple Patriots fans, but I don't really like. I think they're more Tom Brady fans.
Let's bring that to the second point here. Let's go about Tom Brady for a second. You're a Patriots. Are you a Patriots fan first, Tom Brady fan second?
I'm a Patriots fan first, Tom Brady second. Yeah, I am.
So what do you say about him, leaving the Patriots? Obviously, it's mutual, it's business, it's understanding. You're going to get into that situation. You're going to know how it goes. How do you feel about him playing in Tampa Bay?
Obviously, definitely going to be weird seeing him in a different uniform. I definitely kind of tune in on Sundays and see him with the Buccaneers. But obviously, he has to do what's best for him. And obviously, Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft going to have a great plan moving forward. But obviously, had to do what I had to do.
And Bill, we trust. I also want to go back on the last point before Tyler Miller rudely interrupted me because I wanted to say something. I just wanted to say, even if you do not get drafted by the New England Patriots, you go anywhere, that's fine. You're on an NFL team. The fact is when you come to Gillette Stadium, and that time will come in the NFL at some point, it's going to be an absolute blessing to be there. You'll be highly motivated no matter what. So it's one of those things. It's like the Rob Gronkowski, the Buffalo Bills, passed up on him. And every time he went to Buffalo, he absolutely killed it out there. And he knew that he had his friends and family there as well. So Tyler, any last thoughts? That's it on my end.
No, I got nothing, but thank you very much for hopping on, man. We appreciate it. Big
appreciate
things coming up this season.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me. Look forward to a big 2020 season, and appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. Thank you. God bless and take care.
Yes, sir.
And that was it. That's the interview right there. And we just also got to give a shout out because this is our 50th episode and Tyler Miller didn't do this at the beginning of the episode. As always, we have an ad read. Today's ad read is, in today's episode, the 50th one, is sponsored by Grillo's Pickles, a 100-year-old recipe handed down from generation to generation. This pickle has become the new standard in the garnish industry. It was first sold out of a wooden pickle cart in the streets of Boston in 2008, and now 12 years later, you can find them in over 10,000 stores nationwide. When you get ready for burger season this summer or in the mood for a deli sandwich, remember to grab Grillo's. Crisp, clean, fresh. Tyler Miller, what did you think about that interview with Pat?
It went well. I mean, we got a solid 20 minutes with them. There's questions that you want to ask NCAA athletes that obviously you can't. So it was more just like, let's just do the basic run of the mill. But no, it was pretty good. Like I said, I can't speak more highly of the guy from Massachusetts, making a name for himself in Penn State, where, like Corey said right before the interview, some of the craziest fans out there. He talked about the whiteout game, which whenever I try to explain the whiteout game, the first thing I said is there's no words for it every single time. And that was the very first thing he even said as a player. If you haven't seen the clip or you weren't watching it wherever, when it was Penn State, Michigan this year, and Beaver Stadium was so loud that Jim Harbaugh on Michigan called the timeout before the play clock even went to like 14:59. So it's still 15 minutes across the board. That I think was the coolest moment in like sports, like history for me, for like as a fan. That was, you couldn't even hear the person sitting next to you talk to you. Like it is a wild, wild place here in Penn State because when you drive here, you're on the same highway for 100 straight miles of nothing but farms, like valleys, anything, mountains. And then you hit like a massive city and it's Penn State. And all those people are obsessed with football.
I liked asking just about, at the very end,
Obviously I kind of spoke and answered for him in terms of he'll be humble to go to any team in the NFL, any 32 teams in the NFL, but what it would like to be playing in New England. And I can't wait to continue following his journey. As GRD said earlier before the interview, and same thing you, Tyler, you sold me on him, and now I've watched his highlights and I want to root for him. And the fact is, whether he's on the New England Patriots or at that time he does come into Gillette Stadium, because that will happen down the road, that time. And I did that comparison to Rob Gronkowski when he goes to Buffalo, and he chuckled about that. He knows that he wants to put up big numbers in Gillette. So if he's coming as an opponent to the Patriots, you better watch out for him. And it was very humbling. It was awesome. It was awesome to have him on, and I hope that we can continue something in the future with him as well too.
Hey, I will chime in and say this. For the guy that could get drafted next week, for him to go and say that he wants to go another year at Penn State, that speaks volumes of the school, of the atmosphere. He thinks that he could drive his draft stock even higher. I respect it. And he announced that way back.
He touched on that in the interview too.
Back in November, right? So
he said, like, in the offseason, he just wanted to come back, obviously, because of the community, Penn State football, like the coaching staff. Plus, I meant to ask him this, but I totally just thought of it now, so I didn't really mean to ask him. I should have asked him. In the NBA, like, they're doing it with high school kids that are soon to be back going to the league. Like, college basketball could be on the demise soon because the high school, like, one and done, that's all gone. But in football, you see guys staying for 2, 3, 4 years because obviously just like the bodies aren't big enough. Football is a way more complicated game, but you don't see that many younger guys. Yeah. I mean, in the NBA, I obviously couldn't, but I could have came out when I was 17 or something like that and played in the NBA, and you just don't see that obviously in this is why I said I wouldn't personally, but a 17-year-old, you see LaMelo Ball be the biggest name.
Speaking of that, did your Special Olympics get postponed too with the ones in Tokyo?
All the prep for nothing,
bro. I do not think that you could have made the NBA or the G League or the ABCDEF G League, whatever the fuck. All I'm saying is this. Let's talk about some sports, dude.
We will. So speaking of leagues, Tyler Miller, you're going to be trying out for any leagues down in Florida. The state of Florida just came out and deemed that sports is an essential business. All the commissioners of the leagues, you even have someone like Vince McMahon, they all met with Trump. They've been talking with each other. They want to try to boost back the economy. Kind of an unknown. It seems like they're trying to use one state to put all the sports down there. Do you guys have any takes on, do we see baseball and hockey and basketball in Florida with no fans whatsoever?
It's all because of that bitch Carol Baskin. Fucking down in Tampa. I don't know. Nah, dude, they're stupid. I don't think that there's going to be sports for a while, bro.
No,
yeah. I don't think life goes back to normal till 2021, like next football season.
And you know what?
I hope.
It sucks for someone like Pat that's trying to bank on, hey, I'm going to go back to Penn State. What if there's no season? And does it hurt his draft capital? Maybe not, but it doesn't help him either. So it's going to be interesting. I think with the state of Florida, we'll see what happens, but I don't see anything coming back anytime soon. And I don't see the NFL coming back.
Yeah, dude, one state does not change the whole country. Like,
yeah.
Florida.
The only thing I see from this, though.
You're good.
He unplugged himself. He does this almost every episode. Unplugs himself.
I have a wire.
You would think he would have fucking stopped doing that shit 49 episodes ago. But
we haven't changed a bit.
Still here.
Stick with our roots. But like I think, well, like we said before the show, Jay Glazer tweeted that he's gonna have an announcement tonight, but it's not like a transaction or this player got traded. It's groundbreaking news or whatever he said, makes you stop and I don't know, I forget what the exact tweet said, but it's gonna be big sports related news is what the rumor is. And if they just deem sports an essential business in Florida, then if we can connect some dots, this NFL season potentially, like I'm just speaking totally just out of conspiracy, every game played in the Miami Stadium. All the rest of the NBA games played in the Heat Stadium.
Wow. Go figure. Tom Brady just went to Tampa Bay. He's already in Florida. Already got his house, Derek Jeter's house down there. Already moved down there and everything.
Maybe that's what they do with sports. Maybe it's something about the draft. Maybe they're canceling the season entirely. I'm just, as a sports fan, holding on to any glimmer of hope I can.
So we're going to talk about this Jay Glazer tweet, blah, blah. But if it was so important, why does he have to wait like a whole 20 hours to announce it because he announced that
Brady.
he had something to break over like 12 hours ago now.
I think they just want TV ratings because who's going to turn on to Fox Sports right now anyways?
And
Is this
something
like
that,
a rerun or something?
If they wanted TV ratings, why wouldn't they like publicly do it besides a fucking tweet from Jay Glazer? I don't know.
They are at 11 p.m. tonight Eastern Standard Time. Even Tyler was just saying analytics have been coming out through different social media, and everyone's up later at night. You know, everyone wants to get their news later at night. So things that used to break during the day at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, that would get worldwide. It's actually better to have it at nighttime. I think him just teasing it, hey, 11 p.m. tonight. What are you doing at 11 p.m. tonight? Nothing. You're going to end up sitting up and watching that no matter what.
It is really going to be like a huge audience for like potentially nothing.
I think
like he could say the draft is fucking getting postponed.
Yeah, and that's what I was just gonna say. Thanks for taking that. I think they're gonna end up postponing it because you've been hearing coaches and GMs complaining that they have to do everything at home. That what if their computers go down? What if we lose power? What if they get hacked? As Tyler Miller was saying this earlier, they're afraid that any possibility can happen. Another speculation was maybe the New England Patriots punishment and Bill Belichick is suspended for 1 full year or something like that because Jay Glazer and Fox Sports were the first ones to report about the Cincinnati Bengals, New England Patriots thing. And Pro Football Focus did just post out an article yesterday, and they said that they were still trying to get down to the bottom of this, and they still were going to give a punishment to the New England Patriots. And they said it would be very significant punishment if they found out the Patriots were in fact involved in this and they were trying to cheat or something like that.
Every team
that would be ridiculous. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying like it goes with the football aspect and it's something that could be breaking
storyline that people can talk about and everything.
Bill Belichick was suspended 1 full year. That's fucking earth shattering. Like it is. Like it.
Not really.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Not really.
Just wait. Say that's the case and there's no football season. They better do this like how they did with AJ Hinch and the Astros. How they said, "Oh, this is still your year." Like the MLB is not going to happen this year, and AJ Hinch technically got suspended for a year. So is everyone else. So if that happens, if Belichick legitimately gets suspended for like a football season when football is back, then if people in New England already didn't hate Goodell. Also, wait, one point of this, Goodell.
Like
I realized I was interviewing a person who wanted to be in the NFL. His goal was to make the NFL. And right behind me, I have Clown Nose Goodell, the commissioner of the league. He wants to go. I think that's just wicked funny.
I mean, it's kind of like a growing meme, like for the last 20 years, though. Like nobody likes the commissioner.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you get drafted, you shake his hand, whatever. But it's still like, it's kind of like the league against the commissioner anyways. We out here.
It really is when you think about it. They're all just chess pieces so he can make billions.
Hell yeah.
All right. I did a Tom Brady video yesterday that got some hate. There's a lot of people on Ride the Wave that as soon as Brady left, they've been trashing him. And I wasn't going to stand for it. I'm like, hey, I need to say something. I think it's ridiculous if people start criticizing Brady saying he's too old now because you're literally sounding like all the other fan bases.
Who's been trashing him other than Caden?
Okay, but you've been getting public reception. Like, I know what you're doing, but you're following.
Am I trashing him? Am I ever trashing Tom Brady?
Yeah, in a cowardly way, you are. But you're too much of a pussy to admit that. Bro, you're obviously salty that your quarterback left, even though he gave you 20 years of his life, more than you even gave to anybody.
That he left.
You're not?
No. It was time to move on from Tom Brady. I wanted to move on from Tom Brady. I've been saying that.
Then why are you so obsessed with posting about him and his wife's marital status? Why are you so obsessed with letting your
I was obsessed with it because I was the only one to post about it back in January because it was floating around. And then he went on the Howard Stern show and talked about it. That's news. Really stupid. It's news.
I was the only one.
I was.
You act like you're the only one in the fucking internet, dude.
I am.
First things first, you're trying to rip off on somebody already, so you can't say you're the first of the first. Bro, I'm telling you this, you're mad Brady left your ass.
No, I'm not. I'm happy that he left because it wouldn't have worked out here. There was no way around it. I have never come out and said,
come a little bit closer to the camera.
I've never come out and said that. I've never come out and said that Tom Brady is washed up. I've never come out and said I hate Tom Brady. I have said thank you for your service for the last 20 years. But how about this? Let me say this. What's the mantra?
Now you're growing
Shut up. What's the mantra that we use in New England here? New England versus everybody. What's Tom Brady? Is Tom Brady New England right now? No, he's everybody. He's somebody else. He's in Tampa Bay. So as of right now, Tom Brady is not on your side. He's not on your 53-man roster. If you're a New England Patriot fan, I'm not rooting for the Tampa Bay Bucks. Tom Brady, yeah, I want you to throw 50 touchdowns. I want you to throw 5,000 yards. I want your team to go 0-16. I'm not rooting for Tampa Bay to be successful with Tom Brady there. I don't care what happens. It's New England Patriots first. A lot of Brady Dick riders out there because they don't know what the team is like without Tom Brady. I'm excited about the unknown. Can the Pats go 4-12? Absolutely. Could they go 12-4? Absolutely. It's going to be a fun season to root for. I will celebrate Tom Brady's legacy when he's officially retired from the NFL and he retires as a New England Patriot.
Okay, so I'll retract on my statement that says you're salty. You are not salty that he left you. But however, look at this. It's not like Tom Brady went to the Philadelphia Eagles. He didn't go to a rival of the New England Patriots, a hated team. Bro, he went to an irrelevant-ass team that is never even going to sniff the Patriots. Like, I feel like the Patriots, this is not their year. They're rebuilding. They're excited. You just said it yourself. They could go 4-12. I know you're still here. Still here. Blah, blah. I like that. I respect you for that. But, bro, football is not in Gillette this year. Football is, you respect the football in Gillette, but Tom Brady actually has a chance to do something. So you might as well have a little bit of a rooting interest in him, because rooting against him, it just sounds like a little salty to me because it's not New England's year.
I'm not
do you want
rooting
Mahomes
against
to win?
him
Do you want
individually.
Mahomes to win another Super Bowl?
No, absolutely not.
Who would you rather, if Tom Brady or Mahomes in the Super Bowl? Who you want to win?
I'd rather kill myself.
What?
I don't want to root
Brady-
because if Tom
You
Brady
sound
wins,
stupid.
if Tom Brady wins a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay, that's a very bad look for New England. That's a
Is
very
it though?
bad look
I
for
don't
the
think it
Patriots.
is. I think
Yes,
it's
it is. It's a bad look for Belichick and Robert Kraft because all the fans are gonna say, "Why did you let Tom Brady leave? Why did you let Tom Brady walk?" I'm gonna tell you
Dude,
this: Tom
you are-
Brady is gonna do bad, and he's gonna do bad in Tampa.
I
Here's
hope
the
he
reason
doesn't.
why.
Though.
That's an
I-
opinion, though.
But I think he's going to do bad because he even came out in the Howard Stern show, and you guys have to listen to that. Giselle wanted him to take a step back pretty much. I thought the Yoko Ono post was funny. I just think that people don't even know what the Beatles are anymore. I think there's some comedy to that. But yet that's Brady slander for some odd reason, even though I just said Giselle's the new Yoko Ono. Tom Brady stepped away to go to Florida to retire. That's what he's doing right now. He's not going to do OTAs with the Mike Evans and the Godwins down there and the OJ Howard. He's not going to end up doing the extra preseason work. That's what he struggled with in New England with some of these younger receivers. This guy's not going to just walk into Tampa, pick up a playbook, and be able to connect with some of these players. These players are not Antonio Browns, like where AB comes in and he can just feed off of it. I'm being serious. This guy.
I look at it.
Bro,
I look at it this way.
Connection with these guys.
You cannot connect Antonio Brown to like real
I'm
wide
saying
receivers
that
like
Antonio
Mike
Brown
Evans.
is the best wide receiver in the league by far, and that guy can go on any team, walk on any team, and be relevant just like that. Absolutely.
I mean, he was good 2-3 years ago, but bro, put him.
Did
on
you
a
not watch his
football
Miami
field.
game when he came into New England? In 11 days on that team, he looked phenomenal.
I mean, he caught a touchdown and he had sub 100 yards. What's the fucking deal, dude? He looked good. He's a great wide receiver, but you can't put a uniform on the retard and tell him that he's gonna be the best player in the league.
I'm comparing him to say
This
Mike
guy
Evans.
is mentally
He
ill,
might
bro.
need-
How you
he
gonna
might
tell
need
me
more-
that?
He might need more work with Mike Evans. He might need more work with Chris Godwin. He might need more work down there with certain receivers. And you know what? There's going to be no NFL season anyways, so it doesn't
I
even
agree.
matter.
I look at it this
and you
way.
said
If
Brady's
Brady,
gonna miss the OTAs. That's not very bold when the OTAs themselves got canceled. Moron.
if Brady does well in Tampa
Yo,
Bay,
Tyler,
the
you
Patriots
can talk
don't.
for 10 minutes straight. I'm sorry for bothering you.
Oh, good. I just look at it this way. If Tom Brady does well in Tampa Bay and the Patriots don't, then everyone's going to be like, oh, Brady's better than Belichick. But if Belichick and the Patriots do well and the Tampa Bay doesn't, it's going to be, oh, Brady was a system QB the whole time. Either way, the argument's stupid because they did it for 20 straight years, but people aren't going to think of that. I want, like, in a perfect world, obviously, like, oh, let's do a Patriots-Bucs Super Bowl and we'll see who really, that's not going to happen. But I want the Patriots to do what? 11-5, 12-4. I'm fine with that. And I want the Bucs to do well and Brady to put up numbers to show, hey, he wasn't just a system quarterback, or Belichick wasn't made because of Brady. These are just two extraordinary talents in their field. And now that they're each like separated from each other and they're each succeeding, that should like solve the case of it was neither Brady or Belichick who made the Patriots. It was just the fact that they were two unreal talents working together.
But you still got to pick a side.
Oh, well, I'm going to pick, obviously, the Patriots of the Bucs. I am going to root for the Bucs because, like we were talking about earlier, the Bucs mean literally nothing to anybody in Boston, Massachusetts. And if you think they do, you just got mad that Brady went there because you don't care. Maybe you are a big anti-Devil Rays fan. Or
well, here's going to be here's my problem.
Anything
here's
about the
my
Bucs.
problem, Tyler and GRD, and I want to know your opinion, GRD. How do you feel about people showing up to Patriots games this year wearing a Tom Brady Bucs jersey?
Like, I don't hate on it, bro, because this is the thing. The Patriots are not winning anything this year. So if you want to go cheer for Tom Brady for the next 2 years, go ahead.
So come up to just a random game where it's the fucking Jets and Patriots and you're wearing a Tom Brady Bucs jersey.
So I wouldn't do it. But, bro, I think you're kind of downplaying the player that Tom Brady is, bro. Like, you might be in the now, but maybe you're forgetting the fact that this is, like, literally not even New England bias. This is the best football player of all time ever, ever, ever. In our whole lives, I know we don't have many years left with this corona bullshit, but, bro, there's never going to be another guy like him.
No, absolutely not.
So
Tom Brady is literally the GOAT.
While he's playing.
But if you're a New England Patriots fan, you stick with New England Patriots. You want to support Tom Brady on Sundays, wear your Tom Brady New England Patriots jersey. Not just go out and buy a Bucs. How about some of these Patriots fans just going, I'm going to buy season tickets. I'm going to travel down and go see him. I mean, come on. You're rooting for Tampa Bay more than you're rooting for the New England Patriots. There's a lot of fans there's a lot of fans this year that have already given up on the Patriots and say, I'm just rooting with Brady and the Bucs, and I'm just going to ride them off. And I'll come back to New England in 2 years and start rooting for their team.
I mean, I'm not going to argue anymore about it. Like, I'll tell you what the way every New England Patriots fan should look at this. They should just look at it like this. Tom Brady's in another team. Like I said, Patriots ain't winning shit this year. Tom Brady's on the other team. If he does good, root for him. If he doesn't do good, then root for that. Whatever. You happy over there, Larry?
I was just going to say, how about let's track back to Super Bowl night at your place and how I said Tom Brady's not coming back to the New England Patriots. And we watched that commercial. Remember you said, you're stupid, dude. Did you not hear the commercial? I know you're just saying, you're saying it to say it.
No, you're right, bro. I was saying that commercial means he's going to be a Patriot.
And it's funny for me to write just that comment back there. Yeah, I had a few Bud Lattes in me, but me to say, I just don't think that he's coming back. I believe in the Hulu curse, but I said that he's not coming back. And the amount of people that just shit on me for that opinion alone, saying you don't support the Patriots, you're a Brady hater. See, that's the thing that a lot of people keep getting twisted about. And there are times where I just do it on purpose because I want to get a rise out of people. But I post one little thing about Tom Brady. I don't agree with the TB12 brand and what they were doing. That's my opinion, and I have the right to say that because I just feel that way. But then people say, you're slandering Brady's name, you're slandering TB12, you're slandering the Patriots. Like, people like to take words and twist it into their own assumptions.
Okay, let's be honest. You think when you post, you think that you're like a fucking wizard playing chess with your posts and shit, right? Like, you do subliminal posts, this guy, that guy. 3 years later, talking about how Wahlberg left the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
But, bro, let's be real. If we talk about you 3 years ago, Ride the Wave will close tomorrow.
Oh, why's that?
Because I got dirt on you, daddy. Nah, I'm just kidding. Yo, hey.
We got dirt on each other.
It was a good 50th episode. We'll break the news on the next one at 11 p.m.
Wait, GRD, before we leave, Jayson Tatum hasn't touched a basketball since the last Celtics game. Does he know that he has all the money in the world? He has all this endorsement money. He's also a professional basketball player that the Celtics would just ship him a hoop. I get the fact that he's like, I don't want to play basketball outside. It's cold. Yeah, that makes sense. But go to like a private gym or something. You're Jayson Tatum. You are literally the city's keys is in his hands now. Like, there's not a lot of Boston athletes anymore that you could even put up there in contention. I think that like Jayson Tatum has the key to the city. Just go to an open gym, go to the RBAC Center, go to something and just be social distancing. I guess he wants to say, I think he said something like, oh, I don't want to, if I bring it back, he has his son that he's spending quarantine with. His mom obviously doesn't want to put the risk in danger and all of that. So he's being socially, doing the social justice hero. But I need Jayson Tatum to be playing basketball. I don't think the NBA is going to be coming back anytime soon, but I prefer the future of the franchise to get a couple shots up here and there.
Hey, that's LA's future player, bro. Jayson Tatum
that's
is good
what
as
I've been
gone.
saying.
Jayson Tatum is not going to be signing that huge supermax deal with Boston anyways. The kid is showing you right there, he does not want it. We want somebody who's going to, I don't care if people are dying, grandmas are dying, mothers in the NBA are dying. I still want my players on the court getting better at their craft. Jayson Tatum, no excuse for not playing basketball.
You think I think he resigns the extension, then once that's up, he goes to LA.
Chucking up the deuces, he's going to the purple and piss just like his idol Kobe Bryant.
But everyone's saying the Paul Pierce thing is like, oh, but Paul Pierce is the Lakers fan. No. Like, Tatum's going to go. Like, I think Jaylen Brown stays here longer than Tatum does, but I don't think Jaylen Brown's going to be as good as Tatum.
I think they made Jaylen Brown the replacement for Tom Brady in the Best Buddies games every year. They're not doing it this year.
No, they made Jayson Tatum.
Oh,
they made Jayson Tatum.
That's actually kind of big that he's there. But it's not happening this offseason, but I just want to go back on the Tom Brady thing. When he stepped away from Best Buddies, I thought that was the final nail in the coffin, that he was leaving and you're pulling out. So I think that's kind of interesting if Jayson Tatum does a little bit more charity work and shit like that he might stay around.
I mean, to be honest, like him doing charity and him not playing basketball, that's nothing for me.
Yeah.
All right, any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
How are those pickles?
Dude, they're actually like really fucking good.
I'm
Shout out
not
to
a pickle
Grillo's
guy, but I heard those are pretty good.
Yeah, shout out to Grillo's Pickles, man. They it was funny because they were on Barstool recently. They gave like Prez like some Patrick Ewing sneakers. They look sick. I reached out.
Oh
to
yeah,
them.
yeah. Mass Vintage has those.
Yeah, I reached out to them and I just said, I like your pickles, man. Can we do a little advertisement? It's like
Not bad.
so there we go.
Yo,
There we
I'm
go.
telling you this. On the 100th episode, me and you are both gonna have one of those jugs, and we're gonna have a pickle eating contest. Whoever finishes the jug first wins.
Can you drink you had to drink the brine
That
too.
was psychopath move. If you drink the
Oh,
pickles,
Yep. Drink every single thing in the thing has to be consumed into your body. No puking.
Oh.
Bud lattes are the only other substance allowed.
Pickle juice is great. Ugh.
All right, this
Get
has
it.
been
I'll do it.
Boston's
100th episode.
Boston's Big 3 episode 50. Thank you, Pat Freiermuth, hopping on. Thank you, GID, for hopping on. Here's the 50 more, I guess, if you want to be cliche about
Yo, I'll see you motherfuckers in 49.
it. Yeah, 2049.